CIET NCERT presents audiobook Kaveri, Textbook of English for Grade 9.
Page 1, Chapter 1 How I Taught My Grandmother to Read. This chapter has a QR code on the right side of this page, scanning which you will be able to access additional resources. This chapter depicts a picture which has a grandmother and a granddaughter talking to each other in a beautiful, friendly way. Reflect and respond. 1. Complete the given word web. It has a square in the middle and has 4 parts to it. The center square has why is it important to learn how to read and write. You have to fill the corresponding 4 squares yourself. Number 2. Read the questions mentioned here and share your answers with your classmates and teacher. Number 1. Which languages do your grandparents or elderly relatives speak? Number 2. How do they spend their time? How do you spend time with them? Number 3. What is your favorite experience with them? Number 4. What is something that the elderly in your family cannot do easily but enjoy watching you do? Page number 2. Number 3. Read the following passage. Match the words with their meanings given here. Number 1. Excitedly. Number 2. Believable. Number 3. People living in one particular area. Number 4. Discussion. Number 5. A part of a story. Number 6. Focus. Number 7. Main character. Number 8. Directed. The casting for the one protagonist of our school's annual play was done after a lot of 2. Debate, as many good actors had auditioned for the role. We had decided to present an number 3 episode from an inspirational story. It was a life story of a group of children who worked with the 4 community to spread literacy. Every day we reached school early to practice with 5. Concentration. We waited 6. Eagerly for the final presentation. All of us played our roles in a very 7. Convincing manner, as the theatre teacher had 8. Guided us well. Reading for meaning. When I was a girl of about 12, I used to stay in a village in North Karnataka with my grandparents. Those days, the transport system was not very good, so we used to get the morning paper only in the afternoon. The weekly magazine used to come one day late. All of us would wait eagerly for the bus, which used to come with the papers, weekly magazines, and the post. At that time, Triveni was a very popular writer in the Kannada language. She was a wonderful writer. Her style was easy to read and very convincing. Her stories usually dealt with complex psychological problems in the lives of ordinary people and were always very interesting. Page 3. Unfortunately for Kannada literature, she died very young. Even now, after 40 years, people continue to appreciate her novels. There is a picture now. It has a girl who's thinking how she would interact with her grandmother and discuss the various books with her. One of her novels, called Kashi Yatre, was appearing as a serial in the Kannada weekly Karmavira then. It is the story of an old lady and her ardent desire to go to Kashi or Varanasi. Most Hindus believe that going to Kashi and worshipping Lord Vishweshwara is the ultimate punya. This old lady also believed in this, and her struggle to go there was described in that novel. In the story, there was also a young orphan girl who falls in love, but there was no money for the wedding. In the end, the old lady gives away all her savings without going to Kashi. She says, the happiness of this orphan girl is more important than worshipping Lord Vishveshwara at Kashi. And on the right side of this page, there's a meaning of the word given, ardent, which means keen. My grandmother, Krishtaka, never went to school, so she could not read. Every Wednesday, the magazine would come and I would read the next episode of this story to her. During that time, she would forget all her work and listen with the greatest concentration. Page 4. Later, she could repeat the entire text by heart. My grandmother too never went to Kashi, and she identified herself with the novel's protagonist. So, more than anybody else, she was the one most interested in knowing what happened next in the story and used to insist that I read the serial out to her. After hearing what happened next in Kashi Yatre, she would join her friends at the temple courtyard where we children would also gather to play hide and seek. Here there is a picture given which shows the temple and the four ladies with the grandmother talking among each other. Page 5. She would discuss the latest episode with her friends. At that time, I never understood why there was so much of debate about the story. Once I went for a wedding with my cousins to the neighboring village. In those days, a wedding was a great event. We children enjoyed ourselves thoroughly. We would eat and play endlessly, savoring the freedom because all the elders were busy. I went for a couple of days but ended up staying there for a week. When I came back to my village, I saw my grandmother in tears. I was surprised, for I had never seen her cry, even in the most difficult situations. What had happened? I was worried. Avva, is everything all right? Are you okay? I used to call her Avva, which means mother in the Kannada spoken in North Karnataka. She nodded but did not reply. I did not understand and forgot about it. In the night, after dinner, we were sleeping in the open terrace of our house. It was a summer night and there was a full moon. Avva came and sat next to me. Her affectionate hands touched my forehead. I realized she wanted to speak. I asked her, "What is the matter?" On the right side, there is a word given, savoring, which means enjoying it to the fullest. And there is a picture given now, which shows her sleeping on the terrace and her grandmother touching her forehead. Page 6. When I was a young girl, I lost my mother. There was nobody to look after and guide me. My father was a busy man and got married again. In those days, people never considered education essential for girls, so I never went to school. I got married very young and had children. I became very busy. Later, I had grandchildren and always felt so much happiness in cooking and feeding all of you. At times, I used to regret not going to school, so I made sure that my children and grandchildren studied well. Check your understanding. Number 1. Complete the cause and effect table given here based on part 1 of the story. Share your answers with your classmates and teacher. There is a table given here which has 2 columns, cause and effect. Number 1. Cause is blank. Effect. The morning papers arrived late in the day and weekly magazines would come one day late. Number 2. Under cause, the grandmother Krishtaka never went to school. Effect is blank. Number 3. Cause is blank. Effect, she was deeply interested in the story and discussed it with her friends. Number 4. Cause. The narrator went to a wedding for a week. Number 4. In effect is blank. Number 5. In cause is blank. Number 5. In effect says the grandmother never went to school. Number 6. Under cause says the grandmother regretted not going to school. Number 6. Under effect is blank. Page 7. Second. Do you think the narrator expected to see her grandmother in tears when she returned to the village? If yes, why? If no, why not? Number 3. How might the narrator help her grandmother to fulfill her desire to learn to read and write? Part 2. I could not understand why my 62-year-old grandmother was telling me, a 12-year-old, the story of her life in the middle of the night. But I knew I loved her immensely, and there had to be some reason why she was talking to me. I looked at her face. It was unhappy, and her eyes were filled with tears. She was a good-looking lady who was usually always smiling. Even today, I cannot forget the worried expression on her face. I leaned forward and held her hand. Ava, don't cry. What is the matter? Can I help you in any way? Yes, I need your help. You know, when you were away, Karmavira came as usual. I opened the magazine. I saw the picture that accompanies the story of Kashi Yatre, and I could not understand anything that was written. Many times I rubbed my hands over the pages, wishing they could understand what was written. But I knew it was not possible. If only I was educated enough. I waited eagerly for you to return. I felt you would come early and read for me. I even thought of going to the village and asking you to read for me. On the right side of the page, a word is given, immensely, which means extremely. Page 8. I could have asked somebody in this village, but I was too embarrassed to do so. I felt very dependent and helpless. We are well off, but what use is money when I cannot be independent? I did not know what to answer. Ava continued. I have decided I want to learn the Kannada alphabet from tomorrow onwards. I will work very hard. I will keep Saraswati Puja day during Dasera as the deadline. That day I should be able to read a novel on my own. I want to be independent. I saw the determination on her face, yet I laughed at her. Ava, at this age of 62, you want to learn the alphabet? All your hair is grey, your hands are wrinkled, you wear spectacles, and you work so much in the kitchen. Childishly, I made fun of the old lady, but she just smiled. For a good cause, if you are determined, you can overcome any obstacle. I will work harder than anybody, but I will do it. For learning, there is no age bar. The next day onwards, I started my tuitions. Ava was a wonderful student. The amount of homework she did was amazing. She would read, repeat, write, and recite. I was the only teacher, and she was my first student. Little did I know then that one day I would become a teacher in computer science and teach hundreds of students. The Dasera festival came as usual. Secretly, I bought Kashi Yatre, which had been published as a novel by that time. My grandmother called me to the puja place and made me sit down on a stool. Page 9. She gave me a gift of frock material. Then she did something unusual. She bent down and touched my feet. I was surprised and taken aback. Elders never touch the feet of youngsters. We've always touched the feet of God, elders, and teachers. We consider that as a mark of respect. It is a great tradition, But today, the reverse had happened. It was not correct. On the right side, a word is given taken aback, which means surprised by something unexpected. She said, I'm touching the feet of a teacher, not my granddaughter, a teacher who taught me so well, with so much of affection, that I can read any novel confidently in such a short period. Now I am independent. It is my duty to respect a teacher. Is it not written in our scriptures that a teacher should be respected, irrespective of the gender and age? I did return her namaskara to her by touching her feet and gave my gift to my first student. She opened it and read immediately the title Kashi Yatre by Triveni and the publisher's name. I knew then that my student had passed with flying colours. By Sudha Murthy. Check your understanding. Number 1. State whether the following sentences are true or false. Share your answers with your classmates and teachers. 1. The grandmother wanted to learn the Kannada alphabet to gain independence. Number 2. The grandmother asked someone in the village to read Kashi Yatre to her while the narrator was away. Number 3. The narrator was the grandmother's first teacher and taught her how to read Kannada. 4. The grandmother believed that there was no age limit for learning. 5. The grandmother touched the narrator's feet as a mark of respect for her as a teacher. Number 6. The narrator was disappointed with the progress her grandmother made in learning to read. Page 10. Critical reflection. Read the extracts given here and answer the questions that follow. 1. When I came back to my village, I saw my grandmother in tears. I was surprised, for I had never seen her cry, even in the most difficult situations. What had happened? I was worried. Ava, is everything all right? Are you okay? I used to call her Ava, which means mother, in the Kannada spoken in North Karnataka. She nodded but did not reply. I did not understand and forgot about it. In the night, after dinner, we were sleeping in the open terrace of our house. It was a summer night and there was a full moon. Ava came and sat next to me. Her affectionate hands touched my forehead. 1. Complete the following sentences with the appropriate option. The phrase, never seen her cry in the most difficult situations, tells us that the grandmother was dash. A. Strong-willed. B. Understanding. C. Considerate. D. Bold. Page 11. 2. Complete the following with the correct option from those given in the brackets. Grandmother did not reply when the narrator asked if she was all right because she might have been too dash emotional, tired to respond. Number 3. Identify the clue from the extract that indicates a rural setting with traditional customs. Number 4. Which lines of the extract establish a tender atmosphere? Number 5. Which of the following aspect is not emphasized in the given extract? A. The emotional turmoil of the grandmother. B. The affectionate bond between the narrator and her grandmother. C. The grandmother's regret over her lack of education. Number D. The narrator's concern for her grandmother. 2. I have decided I want to learn the Kannada alphabet from tomorrow onwards. I will work very hard. I will keep Saraswati Puja day during Dasara as the deadline. That day, I should be able to read a novel on my own. I want to be independent. I saw the determination on her face, yet I laughed at her. Ava, at this age of 62, you want to learn the alphabet? All your hair is grey, your hands are wrinkled, you wear spectacles, and you work so much in the kitchen. Childishly, I made fun of the old lady, but she just smiled. Page 12. For a good cause, if you are determined, you can overcome any obstacle. I will work harder than anybody, but I will do it. For learning, there is no age bar. 1. What does the grandmother's statement, I want to be independent, reveal about her character? A. She wanted to be literate. B. She desires self sufficiency. C. She wants to prove her intelligence to others. D. She feels pressured by society to learn. Number 2. Fill in the blanks with the appropriate option from those given in brackets. The grandmother's determination shows that learning has no dash bracket age limit / gender bias / cultural barriers bracket closed. 3. Complete the following with a suitable reason. The narrator laughs at her grandmother's decision to learn the alphabet at the age of 62 because dash. Number 4. List any two qualities displayed by the grandmother. Number 5. How can we say that the narrator is making assumptions about her grandmother? Exercise 2. Answer the following questions. 1. Why do you think the grandmother felt embarrassed to ask someone else to read to her while the narrator was away? 2. Why does the narrator initially laugh at her grandmother's determination to learn at the age of 62? 3. What significance does the story of Kashi Yatre have in both the grandmother's life and the story? 4. What does the grandmother's desire to learn the Kannada alphabet reflect about her? 5. What lessons can we infer from the grandmother's action of touching the narrator's feet? 6. What does the following line tell us about the broader theme of the story? For a good cause, if you are determined, you can overcome any obstacle. 7. How effectively does the story highlight the value of education in supporting personal independence? Page 13. Vocabulary and structures in context. 1. The expression hide and seek is used in the text. This is called a binomial. Binomials are expressions consisting of two words, usually linked by a conjunction like and or, that are commonly used together in a fixed order. For example, odds and ends, right or wrong. Match the binomials in column 1 with their meanings in column 2. You may refer to the dictionary. A table is given with column 1 and column 2. In column 1, sink or swim. Column 2, put different things together to get a range of possibilities. Column 1, 2, on and off. Column 2, complete part of or belong to. Column 1, 3, mix and match. Column 2, choose only the best, things, people, etc. Column 1, 4, all or nothing. Column 2, at some time in the future. Column 1, 5, part and parcel. Column 2, sometimes, occasionally. Column 1, 6, pick and choose. Column 2, increase or develop very quickly. Column 1, 7, sooner or later. Column 2, succeed or fail without help. Column 1, 8, leaps and bounds. Column 2, something to be done completely or not at all. Now, use any 5 of these binomials in sentences of your own. Page 14. Exercise 2. Read the following words from the text given in the box here. Unhappy, unusual, unfortunately, irrespective, independent. These words are made by adding suitable prefixes bracket, un, ir, and in, bracket closed, to give an opposite or negative meaning to the words. Now, make words by adding the suitable prefixes given in the box to the words from the text in column 1. Write the prefixed words in column 2. One example has been done for you. So there are prefixes given in a box which says un, im, dis, in, miss, extra. Now there is a table given which has two columns, column 1 and column 2. Column 1 says 1. Popular. Column 2, an example is given, unpopular. Column 1, belief. Column 2, you have to do yourself. Number 3, important. 4, respect. 5, correct. 6, continue. 7, understand. 8, ordinary. 9, interesting. 10, possible. In the column 2, you have to use the prefixes which I had shared earlier and fill the column 2 with them. Exercise 3. Identify any 5 words with prefixes from the story and make sentences using each. Exercise 4. In the sentence, I knew then that my student had passed with flying colours. The phrase passed with flying colours is an idiom. It means outstanding performance. Page 15. Now match the idioms related to learning given in column 1 with their meanings in column 2. You may refer to a dictionary. There is a table given with 2 columns, column 1, column 2. Column 1, point 1, to hit the books. Column 2, to memorize something. 2, to draw a blank. Column 2, to think very hard. Column 1, 3, to learn the ropes. Column 2, to study seriously. Column 1, 4, to rack one's brain. Column 2, to study or work late into the night. Column 1, 5, to learn by heart. Column 2, to be unable to remember. Column 1, 6, burn the midnight oil. Column 2, to understand how to do an activity. Now use these idioms in sentences of your own. Exercise 5. Read the following sentences from the text and underline the verbs. 1. Secretly, I bought Kashi Yatre, which had been published as a novel by that time. 2. I knew then that my student had passed with flying colours. In sentence 1, verb bought is in simple past tense. In sentence 2, verb had passed is in past perfect tense. A box is given here which has the following. We use past perfect tense to indicate 2 completed actions, one occurring earlier, bracket, later past, and the other more recently, bracket, recent past. The more recent action is expressed in the simple past, while the earlier action takes the past perfect tense. Examples: by the time I reached the party, everyone had finished eating. The word reached is underlined, had finished is underlined. Second, when she returned home, her brother had finished the project. The word returned is underlined, had finished is underlined. Page 16. Exercise 1. Fill in the blanks with simple past and past perfect tense form of the verbs given in brackets. A. When the delegates dash in bracket arrive at the conference, the keynote speaker in bracket already begin the session. B. After the students dash in bracket learn how to identify fake news online, they dash in bracket start verifying information before sharing it. Before Kiran, blank space, in bracket start using digital payment platforms, she, blank space, in bracket ensure her understanding of online fraud prevention. D. By the time Varun, blank space, in bracket recognized the importance of budgeting, he, blank space, in bracket exhaust most of his savings. E. When Raghu, blank space, in bracket login to the cybersecurity webinar, the instructor, blank space, in bracket already discuss the importance of strong passwords. Exercise 2. Fill in the blanks with the correct form of verbs given in brackets. Last year, my parents and I, A, blank space, in bracket, take a financial planning course. When we, B, blank space, in bracket, review our expenses, we realized we, C, blank space, in bracket, spend too much on unnecessary purchases. After my parents, D, blank space, in bracket, discuss ways to save, I, E, blank space, in bracket, open a savings account. By the time we, F, blank space, in bracket, set our budget, the course G, blank space, in bracket, already introduce investment strategies. We, H, blank space, in bracket, hurry to take notes, but many participants, I, blank space, in bracket, complete their financial plans. Despite that, we, J, blank space, in bracket, enjoy learning how to manage money wisely. Page 17. Listen and respond. 1. You will listen to a speaker talk about digital literacy. As you listen, complete the following sentences with 1 to 3 exact words that you hear. In brackets, transcript for teacher on page 259. 1. Literacy these days includes the ability to use blank space. 2. Digital literacy is also about protecting blank space. 3. Digital literacy enables the elderly to blank space. 4. Digital literacy encourages using the internet safely by helping us recognize blank space and blank space. 5. The National Digital Literacy Mission helps people across the country by imparting blank space. Speaking activity. Turncoat is a type of solo debate where the speaker argues for and against a topic, switching sides after a certain period of time. 1. Choose your topic and speak for and against for not more than 1 minute each. Topic 1. It is important to learn a new language apart from your mother tongue. Topic 2. Learning can happen only when you are young. Use the guidelines given here. 1. Begin with speaking for the topic for 1 minute. 2. Your teacher will signal that it is time to switch sides. 3. Then speak against the topic for 1 minute. Page 18. A picture given here depicts a teacher and a student. There is a stage where a teacher and a student is there. Teacher is sitting on the table and the student is standing at the podium with the mic and speaking for the debate. The picture also has 4 students sitting on the chair. preparing for their debates as well. You may use the following sentence prompts. Given here is a table with 2 columns, for and against. Under column 4, point 1, to begin with, I would like to speak for the topic. Point 2, my first argument in favor of. Point 3, most importantly, I want to mention that. Point 4, in addition to that, moreover, I feel. Point 5, I strongly feel. Point 6, I have a reason to believe. Point 7, there's no doubt that. Under against, point 1, on the contrary / on the other hand. Point 2, there are 2 sides to this topic. Point 3, there's no doubt that. Point 4, if I could make a point here. Point 5, I'm pretty sure that. Point 6, well, I'm not sure whether you can really. Point 8, so to put in a few words. Page 19. Writing task 1. As a socially responsible citizen, you strongly believe that students can contribute significantly in promoting adult literacy. Write a letter to the editor of a local newspaper emphasizing the importance of student participation in adult literacy camps conducted by various organizations. Discuss the benefits of such initiatives for both students and society. Suggest effective ways to spread awareness and encourage more students to volunteer for this noble cause. A letter to the editor is a formal letter in which the writer gives suggestions and create awareness on an issue of public interest or an issue already raised in an article / write-up / published letter. Points to remember. Here a box is given where the format is also given. 1. Name, designation, address. 2. Date. 3. Subject, 4 to 5 words in title case. 5. Salutation, Sir / Madam. 5. Body of the letter, in at least 3 paragraphs. 6. Paragraph 1. Statement of problem. Raise the issue by citing some latest news items, survey report or personal experience, etc. Point 1. This is with reference to the article about blank space, dated blank space in your newspaper. Point 2. As a concerned citizen, I would like to draw your attention towards. Point 7. Paragraph 2. Analyze the issue in terms of its causes and consequences. A. The issue at hand affects a large section of society and B. It is imperative that C. It would be beneficial if D. Such initiatives nurture a sense of E. By engaging in these programs, students. Page 20. Point 8, paragraph 3. Offer suggestions / solutions. Request the relevant authorities to take the action and request the editor to publish your views. A. A possible solution to this issue could be B. One effective way to address this might be C. Authorities could consider implementing. D. I trust this matter will be considered seriously for the benefit of all. E. I am hopeful that necessary steps will be taken too. F. I hope this letter gets published in the columns of your esteemed daily. Point 9. Complimentary clause. Yours truly. Point 10. Language. A. Formal, clear and specific. B. Short and to the point sentences. C. Purpose stated clearly and concisely. D. Relevant details to be given. Learning beyond the text. 1. India has 22 major languages according to the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Each language has its own unique identity. Talk to your classmates and teacher and complete the given table with words from any 5 Indian languages. Page 21. Here a table is given with 6 columns. Column 1 has relations such as grandmother, grandfather, mother, father, sister, brother. In column 2, we will write the language. Given here is Kannada. In Kannada, grandmother is called Avva. Same like this, you have to write in Kannada what we call the grandfather, mother, father, sister and brother. In rest of the 4 boxes, column 2, 3, 4, 5, you have to fill up any other 4 Indian languages from the 22 languages and fill up what we call grandmother, grandfather, mother, father, sister and brother in those languages. Exercise 2. Do you know? Number 1. National Literacy Mission Authority NLMA is responsible to design, develop and implement the adult education program in India. Directorate of Adult Education DAE under the Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, Government of India functions to facilitate the implementation of adult education programs in the country. Find more information on it with the help of the link given here. The link is https://dsel.education.gov.in/adult_education. Number 2. Financial literacy refers to the ability to understand and effectively apply various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. The National Centre for Financial Education NCFE plays a pivotal role in implementing financial education programs. The NCFE conducts surveys to assess financial awareness and collaborates with educational institutions to integrate financial management concepts into the curricula. Additionally, it organizes annual financial literacy tests to gauge and improve the financial knowledge of individuals. Through these concerted efforts, the Government of India aims to empower its citizens with the knowledge and skills necessary to make informed financial decisions, thereby promoting economic stability and growth. Page 22. 3. The Early Literacy Project ELP is an integrated, intensive and culturally sensitive early literacy training program. The ELP primarily targets out-of-school children and youth as well as underachieving school-going children, in grades 1, 2 and 3, attending rural government primary schools. Most of the targeted children come from the most marginalized communities, such as migrants and ethnic minorities, with high illiteracy rates. In addition, they also have different socio-cultural, linguistic, and economic traditions and experiences. 4. Cultural literacy refers to the awareness, understanding, and appreciation of the country's diverse traditions, languages, arts, and social practices. Given India's rich cultural heritage, it involves the ability to engage meaningfully with various customs and historical narratives while navigating modern influences. Government initiatives and educational programs through organizations like the Center for Cultural Resources and Training, CCRT, promote cultural literacy by integrating regional languages, arts, and traditions into learning frameworks. The training programs provide an understanding and appreciation of the philosophy, aesthetics, and beauty inherent in Indian art and culture, and focus on formulating methodologies for incorporating a cultural component in curriculum teaching. The role of culture in science and technology, housing, agriculture, sports, etc., in all aspects of development and growth is emphasized. Exercise 3. Talk to your grandparents and find out which book or magazine they enjoy reading. Buy a copy of it and present it to them as a gift. Page 23. Bharat, our land. Reflect and respond. Exercise 1. Recall the lines of the national anthem and complete the table given here with the names of the states, mountain ranges, and rivers mentioned in it. Here, a table is given with 3 columns. Column 1 says states/provinces. Column 2 says mountain ranges. Column 3 is for rivers. The table, which is divided into 3 columns, has 4 parts. The 4 parts are blank and you have to fill it yourself. Exercise 2. Work in pairs. Discuss what the words Jaya He in the last 2 lines of the national anthem convey. Share your answer with your classmates and teacher. Exercise 3. Read the underlined words in the given lines of the poem. Choose the odd one out that does not correspond with the meaning of the underlined word. 1. She is peerless. Peerless is underlined. Let's praise her! Exclamation mark. Valuable, comma, incomparable, comma, unmatched. 2. Many a sage has sanctified this land. Sanctified is underlined. Blessed, comma, purified, comma, applauded. 3. And here all auspicious things are found. Auspicious is underlined. Fortunate, comma, fantastic, comma, favorable. 4. Of hoary antiquity is Bharat. Hoary antiquity is underlined. Ancient times, comma, recent past, comma, time immemorial. Page 24. On page 24, a picture depicts mighty Himalayas, from which river Ganga is flowing downwards. A sage is also sitting at the side of river Ganga, meditating and thinking about the scriptures. Reading for appreciation. The mighty Himavant is ours. There's no equal anywhere on earth. The generous Ganga is ours. Which other river can match her grace? The sacred Upanishads are ours. What scriptures else to name with them? This sunny golden land is ours. She's peerless. Let's praise her. Gallant warriors have lived here. Many a sage has sanctified this land. The divinest music has been heard here, and here all auspicious things are found. Page 25. Here Brahma knowledge has taken root, and the Buddha preached his Dhamma here. Of hoary antiquity is Bharat. She's peerless. Let's praise her. By Subramanya Bharati. Also, a picture is given here, which has Lord Buddha blessing everyone. Check your understanding. Exercise 1. Fill in the blanks by choosing appropriate words from the box given here to complete the summary of the poem. The box has these words: warriors, Ganga, sages, Brahma knowledge, peerless, Buddha, praise, Upanishads, Himavant, historical greatness. The poem is a tribute to India. celebrating its natural beauty, spiritual heritage, and 1. Blank space. The poet praises the 2. Blank space, describing it as mighty and unparalleled. The 3. Blank space is depicted as generous and graceful, while the 4. Blank space are honored as sacred and unmatched. The poem highlights the contributions of 5. Blank space and 6. Blank space who have enriched the land with their bravery and wisdom. It also acknowledges the presence of 7. Blank space and the teachings of 8. Blank space, highlighting India's deep-rooted spiritual and philosophical traditions. The poet repeatedly asserts that India is 9. Blank space, urging everyone to 10. Blank space her. Exercise 2. Complete the following features about the poem. 1. The impact on the readers, in brackets, mood. Blank space. 2. The poet's attitude, in brackets, tone. Blank space. 3. The rhythm scheme. Blank space. 4. Examples of personification. Page 26. Exercise 3. What is the impact of the refrain, "She's peerless, let's praise her"? Exercise 4. Complete the following sentence appropriately. India is metaphorically described as this sunny golden land, suggesting that it is blank space. Exercise 5. The poet uses symbolism. Match the symbols in column 1 to what they suggest in column 2. Here, a table is given with 2 columns, column 1 and column 2. Under column 1, 1. Himavant, 2. Ganga, 3. Upanishads, 4. Gallant warriors and sages, 5. Brahma knowledge and Buddha's Dhamma, 6. Sunny golden land. Under column 2, 1. Knowledge and enlightenment, 2. Spiritual and philosophical legacy, 3. Purity and generosity, 4. Richness and glory, 5. Strength and permanence, 6. Courage and wisdom. Exercise 6. The poet uses imagery, in brackets, descriptive language to create vivid mental pictures that appeal to the senses. Give any 2 examples from the poem. Exercise 7. What is the impact of the use of hyphens in the first stanza? Select the options that are true. The first stanza was, "The mighty Himavant is ours, hyphen. There is no equal anywhere on earth. The generous Ganga is ours, hyphen. Which other river can match her grace? The sacred Upanishads are ours, hyphen. What scriptures else to name with them? This sunny golden land is ours, hyphen. She's peerless, let's praise her." A box is given which has 5 points. 1. Creates deliberate pauses to reinforce the sense of admiration and pride. 2. Emphasizes the contrast between India's strengths and weaknesses. 3. Lends to the lyrical quality, giving it a measured, chant-like rhythm. 4. Suggests hesitation or uncertainty in the poet's claims about India. 5. Presents a key element of India's greatness before the hyphen and makes a strong assertion about its uniqueness after the hyphen. Page 27. Exercise 8. The poet uses hyperbole in the poem. A box is given which says, hyperbole is a figure of speech that involves extreme exaggeration to highlight a point or create a dramatic effect. It is not meant to be taken literally, but is used to make something sound more impressive or intense. For example, 1. My luggage weighs a ton. Does the luggage actually weigh a ton? 2. She was so happy that her smile was a mile wide. Can a smile be a mile wide? Exercise 9. The poem is an ode. A box is given which says, an ode is a lyrical poem that expresses deep admiration, praise, or reverence for a person, place, object, or idea. It is often written in an elevated and formal style, celebrating the subject with enthusiasm and emotion. An ode's language is often grand and expressive, and it seeks to highlight the extraordinary qualities of its subject. Now, identify examples from the poem that correspond to it being an ode. Exercise 10. The poet uses allusion in the poem. In the box, it is given. Allusion is a literary device where a writer makes an indirect reference to a well known person, place, event, literary work, or cultural element without explicitly mentioning it. The reader is expected to recognize and understand the reference based on prior knowledge. Allusions can come from mythology, religion, literature, history, or popular culture. Page 28. In a box it says, for example, he is a real Einstein in the mathematics class. In brackets, this alludes to Albert Einstein, meaning the student is very intelligent, especially in mathematics or science. Now, read the explanations and identify the matching allusions from the poem for the following. 1. An allusion to the ancient Indian scriptures that form the philosophical core and symbolize deep wisdom and enlightenment. 2. An allusion to the concept of spiritual knowledge associated with self-realization and ultimate truth. 3. An allusion to Gautam Buddha's teachings, which include compassion, non-violence, and enlightenment. This highlights India's role in shaping major religious and philosophical traditions. Critical reflection. Number 1. Read the extract given here and answer the questions that follow. The mighty Himavant is ours, there's no equal anywhere on earth. The generous Ganga is ours, which other river can match her grace? The sacred Upanishads are ours, what scriptures else to name with them? 2. Choose the correct option to complete the sentences given here. The question mark at the end of the fourth and sixth line of the extract is used to blank space. 1. Show doubt and uncertainty. 2. Emphasize a point. 3. Highlight confusion and hesitation. 4. Reveal inquiry and curiosity. Page 29. 3. The poet uses the word generous to describe the Ganga. Why? 4th. Why has the movement of the river been described as graceful? 5. Fill in the blanks with the correct option from the words given in the brackets. The poet is implying that the Upanishads are blank space in bracket unmatched / abundant in their wisdom and spiritual depth. Exercise 2. Answer the following questions. 1. How does the poem reflect a strong connection to cultural identity and heritage? 2. What can you infer about the poet's attitude towards India from the repeated phrase, "She's peerless, let's praise her"? 3. What does the line, "Many a sage has sanctified this land," suggest about India's spiritual heritage? 4. How does the poet connect warriors and music to India's greatness? 5. How does this poem foster a sense of national pride? Vocabulary in context. 1. Complete the table by choosing words from the poem. Here, a table is given with 3 columns. The first column says suffix. The second column has meaning. The third column is titled examples. Under suffix, we have hyphen OUS. Second, hyphen ITY. Third, hyphen EST. Fourth, hyphen less, LESS. In the second column, which has meaning, one is full of, having the qualities of kindness. Second, the state of being very old or ancient. Third, superlative form. Fourth, without something. In the third column, which is about examples, first is blank ending with OUS. Second, blank ending with ITY. Third, blank ending with EST. Fourth, blank ending with less, LESS. Page 30. Exercise 2. Complete the following table by adding a different suffix to form new words. Also, create a sentence using the created word. One example has been done for you. A box is given here with 3 columns. The first column is for suffix. The second column is for meaning. And the third column is for sentences. Under suffix, the first is hyphen TION. Under meaning, the action or process of. Under sentences, example, indicate, hyphen indication. The dark clouds were an indication that it would rain soon. Now you have to write the sentence 1. Under suffix, column 1, second point is hyphen IVE, meaning quality or nature of. And the third column, sentence, you have to write. Under column 1, suffix, point 3 is hyphen meant, MENT. Under meaning, the action or result of. Sentence, you have to write. Under suffix, column 1, the fourth point is hyphen ED. Under meaning, past tense version of a verb. Under sentence, you have to write it yourself. Listen and respond. 1. You will listen to 4 people talk about the places they like to travel to. As you listen, write the speaker number for the 2 pictures given here. Transcript for the teacher on page 260. The 2 pictures given here. The first picture depicts a person holding a selfie camera and walking. The second picture depicts a mountain and a person climbing it. Exercise 2. You will once again listen to the 4 speakers. As you listen, match the given statements to the speaker. There are 2 statements that you do not need. In brackets, transcript for teacher on page 260. Page 31. A box is given here with 2 columns, which says statement and speaker. Under statement, there are 6 points given. 1. The green surroundings look beautiful visually. Number 2. The group visits make even the difficult areas seem easy. Number 3. The quietness of the environment here leads to a peaceful experience. Number 4. The risk and thrill in such an area is what is most appealing. Number 5. The dry expanse promises to appeal to the spirit of exploration. Number 6. The sight of such beauty is very inviting and has to be captured. The column of speaker is empty and you have to fill it. Speaking activity. Number 1. In pairs, Take turns to speak about the aspects of your village/town/city that you feel are an asset. It could be about geographical, cultural, traditional features, or even its history. A picture is given here which has a girl and boy sitting on a desk with books and discussing with each other. Use these cues to express your praise and admiration. 1. One thing that I find truly wonderful about my village/town/city is. Number 2. If I had to describe my village/town/city in one word, it would be. Page 32. Third, I have always been fascinated by the way the people of my village/town/city. 4. What I want other people to know about my village/town/city is. Number 5. When it comes to the scenery, my village/town/city truly shines because. Number 6. I feel a deep sense of pride when I think about my village/town/city. Writing task. Exercise 1. Write a paragraph about a place that you have visited which has stayed in your memory. Remember to mention the following. 1. Why did you go there? 2. Who did you travel with? 3. How did you prepare for the travel? 4. Where did you stay? 5. What activities did you do there? Learning beyond the text. 1. Search for poems or songs dedicated to India, your motherland, in your regional language. Share them with your classmates and explain their meaning too. Second, in groups of 6, prepare an interdisciplinary project on India's major geographical features. For each feature, describe the region, explain its importance in the lives of the people living there, and mention the languages spoken in that region. Include one example of each of the following. 1. Mountains, Himalayas, Western Ghats, etc. 2. Rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Krishna, Kaveri, Godavari, etc. 3. Deserts, Thar Desert, Run of Kutch, etc. 4. Valleys, Kangra Valley, Nubra Valley, etc. 5. Islands, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, etc. 6. Plateaus, Deccan, Malwa, Meghalaya, etc. Chapter 1 ends here.
Kaveri. You were just listening to this audiobook, textbook of English for grade 9. Narration Dr. Lipakshi Khurana. Sound recordist Muhammad Faizan Khan. Assistance in production Soumya Malik. Directed and produced by Vimlesh Chaudhary. This audiobook is brought to you by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.